So, Paul, as you may know, there's a new CEO in town at Verizon named Dan Schulman. And I believe Schulman is really, he's been on the board for years. I think he's looked at the organization and believes it's a little too heavy, little too bureaucratic. He sees room for ample cost cuts. And I think his whole message to the employee base is we need to move faster. And I think it's very tough to do that with a large bureaucracy. Um, I also think he's cutting costs in order to free up funds and give them room to promote more. I think one of the reasons that Verizon has lagged its peers in subscriber growth is they're just not matching price promotions out there in the marketplace. And I think if they do that carefully, wisely, I think if they become a little less disciplined than they've been in promoting, they're going to find that they'll drive higher volumes. And I think at the end of the day, Wall Street wants to see that. That really is a report card for the telcos, that sort of quarterly net additions number that all the telcos report.
And Wall Street is okay with a loss in margin or an erosion of margin in order to get those numbers, those subscriber numbers, because it sounds like Verizon is getting ready to jump into participating in this price war in a more robust way than it had been.
Yeah, good question, Scarlet. I think that's what these job cuts are all about. You can maintain margins. If you're cutting 13% of the workforce, there's a big cost savings there. So you're getting leaner on the expense line, which gives you a little more room on the revenue line to begin to promote more and really step up and match competitors like T-Mobile, which continue to be aggressive on price. And then at the lower end, of course, you've got the cable operators and their wireless brands, and they have been promoting very hard on price in order to drive up their wireless installed base.
John, I'm guessing if a lot of Verizon Communications investors, they're there for the dividend. It's got a yield of 6.7% here. That is a serious yield there. Talk to us about their dividend strategy, their commitment to the dividend going forward.
So Schulman, when he first joined Verizon, reiterated a commitment to maintaining the dividend. I think with any carrier, as their stock price drops and the effective yield goes up, that dividend yield, it becomes a target for potentially getting cut. Now, the flip side of that is any telco that's cut its dividend in the past will tell you there is a very heavy price to pay for that. You typically get a big price correction when you cut that dividend because, of course, at least with the AT&T and Verizon, you're attracting a lot of investors to buying the stock based on the yield. So if you cut the yield, obviously you're going to lose some of those investors. So he's got a tightrope to walk here. Again, you're cutting 13% of the organization as a first move. I think there are other cost cuts down the road, and efficiencies to be gained in not only network operations but customer care as well, particularly with the advent of AI. So my hope is they're going to be able to sustain free cash flow, which will generate more than enough to sustain that dividend there.